So we need to find the maclaurin series of the given function centered at a equals 0. So we will twice differentiate 1 over 1 minus 6x. So when we differentiate it for the first time, the derivative of this equals negative 6 over 1 minus 6x squared. And then when we differentiate it again, so the second order derivative of this equals the derivative of this, so it equals negative 6 times 6 times negative 2 over 1 minus 6x, and this whole thing is cubed, so this equals 72 over 1 minus 6x cubed. Then we know that 1 over 1 minus r is represented by the infinite geometric series sum, which is the sum of r to the power of n, where n goes from 0 to infinity. So 1 over 1 minus 6x is represented by the sum of 6x to the power of n, where n goes from 0 to infinity. So now we twice differentiated, and we get that the sum of 6x to the power of n goes from 0 to infinity, and we take the derivative of this. This equals the sum of 6 to the power of n times x to the power of n minus 1 times n and n goes from 1 to infinity, and then we differentiate it again, and the second order derivative of the sum of 6n x to the power of n goes from 0 to infinity, equals the derivative of the sum of 6 to the power of n times x to the power of n minus 1, n goes from 1 to infinity, and this equals the sum of 6 to the power of n times n minus 1 times x to the power of n minus 2, where n goes from 2 to infinity. So basically we get that So we get that 72 over 1 minus 6x cubed equals this expression, so this sigma notation. And now we just need to divide both sides by 72, and we get that 1 over 1 minus 6x cubed equals 1 over 72 times the sum of n plus 1 times n plus 2 times 6 to the power of n plus 2 times x to the power of n from n equals 0 to infinity, and this equals the sum of n plus 1 times n plus 2 times 6 to the power of n plus 2 times x to the power of n over 2 times 6 to the power of 2 from n equals 0 to infinity. So this equals the sum of n plus 1 times n plus 2 times 6 to the power of n times x to the power of n over 2. N goes from 0 to infinity. And this is our final answer.